Hi, and welcome back to Coffee and Calacas. I'm your host, Joe. If you're new to the show, just want to welcome you here and let you know this is a weekly podcast where we sit around the coffee table and discuss stories of mysticism, the supernatural, and what lies in the beyond. So if this is something that interests you, please stick around, and I hope you enjoy the show. Thank you. Okay, so if you're familiar with last week's episode, we did talk about brujas. This week, I'm going to dive in and talk about brujeria. So you may think, brujeria, well, I know what that is. Okay, everyone has an idea of what brujeria is. There's different types of brujeria. Most people, when they think about witches and think about brujas, they just think, witchcraft and, cast a spell on a person and, you drink a potion and very hocus pocus kind of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. And honestly, as I have read before, and I may have mentioned it last week, there are different types of witches. You have your kitchen witches and your green witches and just different types, right? So not everyone is going to do witchcraft or, do some kind of magic in the same way. Everyone's magic's a little different. Someone's magic may come from, using herbs and just all natural stuff, while other people, will delve into the black magic. And again, no, I don't want to offend anyone and put anyone off about this. What you do in the privacy of your home, that's fine by me. But again, I do just ask, be respectful to everyone around you. Be kind, spread some love, right? So the witchcraft or the brujeria I'm going to talk about today does regard black magic. And I bring this up because it's very, it's specific, I know growing up, like I've mentioned before, my grandmother, my great grandpa, Grandpa Chapa, would always talk about brujas and brujeria, and it's something that I don't know if it's just something common in this area, in the Rio Grande Valley, but it's something that I felt we always discussed. And it wasn't like, oh, we're gonna sit down and talk about it, but it came up in conversation here and there. And I do remember hearing, oh, well, if for this and that, do this. And I guess to relate it back to something that most people can actually find tangible is the idea that el huevo, okay, tienes mal de ojo, you have a headache and it doesn't go away, you have a fever or something, one of the first things that we do is take out el huevo, the egg, and we they rub it on your body while saying a prayer. And the thing with brujeria, and I want to say it's brujeria in general, in specifically in general, brujeria, is that it incorporates religion with, the supernatural, with that witchcraft, So here you are getting an egg and you're rubbing it on a person and, you're praying for them, and then you crack the egg, and if the egg looks like it has an eye on the yolk, tenías ojo, someone gave you the evil eye. And if anyone goes to the flea market, you can easily find a vendor selling I think it's a little bracelet or like a little chain or something that is for el mal de ojo, it's so that way it wards off the evil eye. So if you're a baby and you feel like, oh, my baby's so cute, people are gonna look at him or look at her, and they're gonna automatically give them the evil eye. Well, you put that bracelet on them, and apparently it's supposed to ward that off. I honestly think that in order for brujeria to actually work, you need to have a level of belief in it. It's not something that just, it's you say a few words and it automatically just, it happens, right? No, I believe that you have to have the belief that it's going to work for it to actually work. I'm not sure if actually everyone does believe in it, but I know that they also do mal susto. You know, if you experience a very big scare or a big fright, they get some rosemary or some kind of something from outside. And I mean, I've seen it done different ways, where garan un limon, a lemon, a lime, and they rub it on your body, and they swish some weeds on you, some herbs, some mint, I believe, I'm not sure, rosemary, whatever it is that they're rubbing on you, and they swish it. They've used like some rocks, some special like stone kind of thing, and then you throw that on top of an open flame, and it's supposed to crack into whatever scared you. And if you have the limes, what they do is like they tell you, you grab them, they put them in a bag, and then they tell you, okay, drive, and as you're crossing a crosswalk, or not a crosswalk, a four-way stop. It has to be something with a four-way stop. It's supposed to look like a cross, basically. Toss them behind you, toss the lines behind you, and don't look back. Because the moment you look back, you're bringing back whatever negative energy, whatever scared you, anything that's bad comes back with you. So you're supposed to toss them, not look back. I use the hierbas. I do believe that you're supposed to sleep with them under your pillow for like 3 nights straight, because that's going to help, just bring back, the ward off the bad and bring back the good, basically. So it's all in a level of belief. I mean, I've seen videos like on YouTube where el perro se asustó, and they grab, a huevo or something, and they cleanse the dog. And again, by all means, if that's what you believe in, great. I'm glad you have a strong belief in something. Most people don't have that anymore. They lack that conviction in that. But if that's what you believe in, great. But again, brujeria, like the dark stuff, the black magic, it's the stuff that people do to another person for revenge or to gain control. I've heard of stories of women going to brujas in Reynosa, Matamoros, deep in there, all to get a sort of treatment, a spell of sorts, like a love, chant to put on their lovers, so that way they can retain them forever. And again, I don't know how true that is, if it actually works or not, but if you believe in it, I feel that you will it to happen. Your level of belief wills it to happen. And if that's what you believe in, hey, I'm not judging, okay? But you do have people who use it for, a lot more sinister things than just a lover. They use it because la señora de enseguida, talk smack about you, and they go and they find a bruja, un brujo, and they do sinister things. I've heard stories of people get into fights with family members, seeking out help from brujas, and then, putting a curse on them. An actual curse. So I bring this up because, again, I'm not saying I don't believe in this. I do, to an extent. I do believe in witches. I mean, because witches is something tangible, okay? It's something that you're going to know a witch or two. Whether they come out saying, "Hey, hi, I'm Sally and I'm a witch," but you're gonna have someone who is a witch out there. Sorry, all this talking has dried up my throat just a little bit. But anyway, so ghosts, that is something I believe in. Because I've experienced things that I can't explain through science. So it's just so uncommon and so random that, okay, maybe it's a ghost, maybe it's a spirit, I mean, I don't know, okay? But brujeria, again, I feel like you have to have a strong belief in it for it to work. Now, you yourself, the recipient of, let's say, someone who's doing harm on you, don't actually have to believe in it. But if the person who wants to harm you has a strong belief in that, spell, it's gonna work. Because they will it to happen. So I bring this up because yes, my family has experienced some, some stuff. And one time, I believe my mom, my grandmother too, they met with someone who read, I'm not sure it was the tarot cards, but I know they read the cards to them. Well, they said yeah, it was the tarot cards. And as they're reading them, they're saying, okay, by the looks of this, it looks like someone wants to harm you. And you're thinking, man, okay, well, who wants to harm you? They just described it was someone who was dark, and it looked like a appearance of a dark female, who wanted to harm you. So, I mean, it's kind of vague, and you think, well, that could be anyone. Yeah, it can. I mean, is it darkness in the color of their skin, or darkness because of what they have in their heart? I believe when you hold a lot of anger and resentment towards a person, your inner soul changes, and it darkens. It holds, that anger there. So I wonder, who disliked my family so much that would want to cause harm, right? But harm still happens. So according to this person, this individual used a pair of shoes and planted them in the yard, in the side where the sun goes down. Okay. So back in the day, my dad did look for the shoes. I mean, he would dig, and my dad loved that garden, and he would dig and he would dig, and it's like, well, where are these shoes? Is it on the side of the house? Is it towards the corner of the fence? Is it, on which area? Like, is it in the front yard, backyard? Which side is it? He knew which side to start digging at, but I mean, again, when did this actually happen? Was this when they were, had finished remodeling the house, or was this before they remodeled it? Was this in what stage in life did this, in time did this happen? So I've always had this, belief that yes, whatever it was that was behind this idea that they want to cause harm to the family has held a bit of a gray cloud, a negative cloud on the family. And I mean, from this story, I can branch out to so many others. I really can. We can talk about exorcism. We can talk about, more brujeria. We could talk about ghosts and chakras and negativity, bad juju, whatever you want. Honestly, this can stem from that. And it's scary to think that someone dislikes you so much that they would want to harm you. That's why I say, be kind to others, because you don't know what someone's going through, and you don't know when someone wants to just bring harm to you. Okay, so with this, I've always carried this idea that yeah, you have people who want to harm you, and you have people who will go to the extent of doing something about it. Okay, I mean, we've all had a bad day and said, oh man, I just want to kick this person in the leg or something. I mean, you can get graphic if you want to, but I won't, just for the sake of being friendly here. But we're not going to do it. We have an idea that, hey, we need to hold decorum, and there's a level of a verbal aggression, and then there's acting out on it, and the majority of us will not act out on it, but you do have people that will. So what does a person hold in their heart that they would want to harm someone else, right? But people do. So according to this lady, the person had a lot of envy and disliked the family. Didn't actually name a person in the family. They just said that they had a lot of hate towards the family, and decided to, do something about it, right? So we had, I know we had like a priest and a nun come in, and they're trying to bless the house. And upon doing it, I mean, I'm Catholic, hi, I'm Jo and I'm Catholic. But okay, so they try to bless the house, and I say try because as the nun is reciting, her prayers and stuff, she goes into a trance of sorts and starts speaking in tongues, and then she just passes out. When she comes back, from her, from that moment, She wakes up and she's like, there's something dark here, something negative. There was just so much negativity like surrounding this house that I can't get past it. Like, it's pushing me back. Okay, so I think to myself, well, can negativity, if there's already something negative here, can it attract more negativity? Can it attract other things? I believe it can. Why wouldn't it, right? So I believe that's where maybe the ghosts of the house may have, you know, just come from. They sense something dark, and like a moth to a light, you know, boom, it attracts it. So I feel like that's what's going on here. There's a lot of negativity, and she said a lot of envy. Someone is so envious of you that they have this darkness surrounding this house. And I'll be honest, things have happened here. You know, it just seems like sometimes one bad thing after another, to the point that last year my my car broke. It really bad. From one thing, it started with, I think, like a light bulb, and then from a light bulb it went to the starter. From the starter it went to the entire computer of the car. I was in tears because I had just paid off the car at the beginning of the year, and then all of a sudden everything just breaks down on me. And here I was trying to get a loan to pay off the car, or not pay off the car, but pay the repairs, and it just seemed like I kept getting denied loan after loan after loan. Finally, I found someone to give me a small loan, and I managed to pay the mechanic and repair the car. Is it 100%? No. You know, radio's still broken, by the way. That's something, honestly, that I feel is just so cosmetic that I've gotten used to without it. But the car moves around enough for me to get to, you know, my house, to my job, from my job to the grocery store, and back and forth. But I felt like there was this dark cloud over me, because, like I'm telling you, it was one thing after another, and I felt like I couldn't breathe, and I cried because I thought maybe someone is doing some harm to me. You know, you never know, right? Someone may hate you so much that they would want to wish something negative on you. So I do believe it happens, okay? So I put this out there because on the first week I released an episode. I was so excited about this podcast, and I still am, okay? Just so excited. I released it, and I was like, this is great. The following morning when I wake up, I get out of bed, I'm getting ready for work, and no joke, there was a dead lizard in my bed. So wrong. I laugh now, but honestly at that moment I was just in a panic, and I thought, hey, is this some kind of like brujeria? You know, I mean, you never know. Stranger things have happened. So from what I've read about brujeria, people can, and if you remember from the previous episode, I talked about how brujas can shapeshift to these big owls, you know, to lechuzas, and as a lechuza they're able to have a better, I guess, grasp on their victims. They're able to either take a piece of their clothing or something, you know, just somehow, you know, they're able to get a better hold of them. And I bring this up because, you know, I hear some strange things sometimes. I've heard bumps in the night, and it's woken me, and I think, oh, okay, well, something's gonna happen. So you think, hey, brujeria, it's a possibility. Someone could shapeshift and then just boom, drop something. Now it's probably not that, you know, that with the lizard, right? But I mean, at that moment, that was my first thought, brujeria, right? But you do have people out there who will cause harm, and it's scary. So I'm gonna make this into possibly a 2-part episode, because there is so much to talk about, and I do have more on this subject, and I don't want to just go on for an hour here, but I do want to bring it up in next week's episode. So I'm gonna stop here on this idea that brujeria can happen to anyone, and it comes in many different forms. So if you do practice magic in any way, spread love, please. And if black magic is what calls to you, I just hope that you can find some kind of love in your heart to not harm the people around you, because, you know, we're all going through some tough times right now with the way life is going. So spread love, spread happiness, and be kind to one another. And stay tuned for next week's episode, where I go on a little bit more in depth about Brujeria and how it works in Mexico. Thanks for tuning to this podcast. Like and subscribe. I appreciate it if you can. Comment down below, send an email. Follow us at Calacaspod.com. Check us out on Instagram if you can, and we're also on Spotify. Thanks. Have a good one. And remember, life begins after coffee.